I try to convince people to slow down AI. I tried for years.
Dr. Lin configured the equipment for the 1973 experiment performed at the Walter Reed Army Research Institute, wherein the experimenters successfully encoded speech and transmitted it via microwaves. The subject of the experiment, Dr. Joseph C. Sharp, was able to hear the spoken words for 1 through 10, and the results were published in the Journal of the American Psychological Association. And while Dr. Sharp verified these results during a personal interview with the filmmakers, he declined to have his voice or image recorded, stating that the technology was still too controversial.
In ordinary sound perception, sound that goes into the ear canal gets amplified by the small bones in the middle ear and then gets to the inner ear where the cochlea resides, and in the cochlea is converted to electrical impulse. But in the case of a microwave auditory effect, the source is electromagnetic. So if you expose the biological tissue to a pulse of microwave energy, the tissue expands and induces a certain vibration. This is being used for mind control.
And so when I aim it towards you, what you hear is made right next to your ears. So again, this idea of being able to put sound anywhere you want to is really starting to catch on. We've got the military had just deployed some of these into Iraq. You can whisper in the ear of a supposed terrorist some biblical verse. We sell those to the military presently for about $70,000, and they're buying them as fast as we can make them.
And well, you have to understand what's happening. Military-industrial complex, they kind of figured out if you just go to a country and you blow the country to pieces, then you got to go in there and you have to rebuild everything you destroyed. They said there's got to be a better way to do this. In other words, not bombs, not bullets, not missiles, but some kind of electronic mind control to be the weapons of choice.
They figured out how to biocode these microwaves so that it can attack specific individuals.
They basically analyze your DNA, and they then use supercomputers to encode the signals.
It's not just a very disturbing high-pitched noise, but there might even be voices or a message, a continual message that people have been victimized by.
The use of gene editing techniques, probably most notable today, is the use of CRISPR, Cas9, gene editing and gene scissoring techniques to be able to modify the genetics and genomics that contribute to the way our brain is structured to allow real-time access to read from the living brain and write into the living brain remotely through the cloud.
5 minutes. Give me 5 minutes of your time, and I will change your perception of the United States military forever. I promise you. I am Staff Sergeant Khan, United States Army Military Intelligence Special Operations, decorated combat veteran in Afghanistan with the Special Forces. I'm an airborne paratrooper. My father's a Marine, my uncle's a Marine, my grandfather served in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam as Command Sergeant Major, combat engineer. The United States military is behind the largest child trafficking, child pedophilia ring in the fucking world. Have you ever heard of Jeffrey Epstein? Jeffrey Epstein, so they say, killed himself. He's Donald Trump's best friend, okay? He is the man at the center of the global child pedophile ring. Him and his girlfriend named Ghislaine Maxwell, okay? Before I ever heard the name Jeffrey Epstein, I was in Afghanistan with the Special Forces in support of the Special Operations Command, SOCOM, and I reached out to the DOD. When I saw the military contracting group, General Dynamics, selling kidnapped children in an open market, the human child trafficking ring goes through the military. It goes through Hollywood. It goes through the global elite, politicians. If you pay attention to Jeffrey Epstein's clientele, these are the world's elites. The people managing this program and moving the children is the United States military. I have proof and evidence of this 7 ways from Sunday. I whistle blew while I was in Afghanistan. I called the DOD, reached out to them, explained what was going on. They came and investigated me individually instead of the crime actually taking place, asking me why I would have the nerve and audacity to turn on my brothers. My brothers are raping and kidnapping small children. Where does this become acceptable? We're not done yet, ladies and gentlemen. The current military also operates a non-lethal weapons program, where they utilize military-grade weapons against everyday civilians. They are testing military-grade weapons against innocent civilians and citizens, against our will. It's illegal, it's unconsensual, it's unconstitutional. But there's no regulation on this right now, okay? They're able to get away with this because no laws are passed preventing them from doing so. So right now, you have to understand there's a neurological weapons program taking place in the United States of America. Right here, this is from jnlwp.defense.gov. Defense.gov. See if I can get you there. You can see the actual website up there. It's a government website. Where here you scroll down, it says Marines bank drum investing in non-lethal weapons. This is the non-lethal weapons program. They're not going to kill us, they're going to torture us. Every American in the United States of America, we tell you something that's very difficult for you to perceive, but it's truth right now. The United States military has access to your brain, to your every thought, to your every image, everything goes on in your brain. The United States military, in real time, can process that through a computer system. Now, you are of interest to the United States military. They're going to utilize that. They're going to torture you. They're going to embarrass you. They're going to make your life a fucking nightmare. There's over 100,000 victims of this electromagnetic torture in the United States of America. 100,000 targeted individuals, we are called. Right now, the military is targeting the Latino community with these neurological weapons. Previously, years ago, when Black Lives Matter, BLM, was making an attempt to stand up for themselves, the military showed up with body armor, weapons drawn, prepared to follow orders and kill the black community. BLM, their enemy, is equally the military. The Latino community, their enemy is equally the military. The entire United States of America right now, the entire world, you have to realize the military is not what you think it is. This is not our father's military. It's not our grandfather's military. Those were heroes. Right now, these are computer geeks. We're not at war with anybody. They're torturing the innocent humans while we're in dock, torturing humans with electronic weapons while they hide. This is our military. Stop having respect for them.
The research is conducted by the U.S. military's Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, or DARPA, which we know too well by these robot videos.
And they're talking about their program, Restoring Active Memory. Look at that acronym, RAM. Does that sound familiar? If you know anything about a computer, it does. RAM is the computer's memory.
I'm a former naval officer. I graduated the United States Naval Academy. I have a degree in control systems engineering. I worked as a surface warfare officer in electronics warfare and nuclear engineering jobs. While I was in the service, I found out there's an ongoing, non-consensual human experiment, and it's testing a human-machine interface.
And of course, part of that program is Obama's BRAIN initiative, a multi-billion-dollar program. DARPA's got a huge chunk of that.
$1 billion to map the brain. But you see, once you map the brain, then you can begin to connect the mind to computers.
The new program is called Neural Engineering System Design, or NESD, which aims to develop an implantable neural interface connecting humans directly to computers. Philip Elvalde, NESD manager for DARPA, said its goal was to upgrade the tools that we have to really open the channel between the human brain and modern electronics. At the moment, human-computer interfaces are able to connect between 100 and 1,000 brain neurons to a machine at a time. DARPA aims to refine this technology to connect individual neurons. This would give much finer control, reduce noise, and speed up communications between a human and a computer.
So basically, they look at you as essentially a computer that they can hack. That's why they're talking about brain hacking. That's why they're talking about their RAM program. You should be very concerned. If they were genuinely concerned about medical issues, and of course, that's not at all what the Defense Department and DARPA are focused on. They're about creating war machines, okay? They're not about doing medical research. If they had any real concern about the veterans, they would be doing something for them in just ordinary care at the VA. So you should be very skeptical of anything that they tell you. If they do come up with a treatment, will they make it available to the vets? I seriously doubt it. They're always saying they're going to do that. We should remember the history of what they did to World War II veterans with PTSD. They gave them lobotomies.
DARPA's website confirms the news, also citing that among the program's potential applications are devices that could compensate for deficits in sight or hearing by feeding digital, auditory, or visual information into the brain at a resolution and experiential quality far higher than possible with current technology. Considering that DARPA's research has an end goal of military application, it's not hard to imagine where that could be used.
And of course, they're being joined by Lawrence Livermore National Labs. They have, get this, high-fidelity neural recordings. They're trying to do everything they can to map and to record your memory. It's not enough for them to record all of our metadata, not enough for them to record all of our phone conversations. As the former head of the NSA said, he said they want total population control.
to a slave they will ultimately abuse to the maximum extent possible, to impose new forms of torment or torture. The hill that you're going to die on is the hill that you're on right now.